So in this video, we're going to talk about the bizarre case of funerals in Africa. Funerals in Africa is such a huge deal that it doesn't really make sense. Funerals in Africa is more than a wedding, especially Ghana, which I love so much and I live in, but it's sad how we got our priorities straight. I understand culture, but then there is certain stuff that just is pure stupidity, right? From logic, if you're looking at it from logical perspective. And I'm going to give you guys some example why I think so. There is nothing wrong with having a great culture where you celebrate a death, absolutely. But when you are broke and you have to sell properties to bury the dead that you didn't take care of when that person was alive, is as stupid as it gets. And that's the situation in Ghana and Africa as a whole. About 2 years ago, there was this news where this person was actually rich though, where this person buried his father in a BMW, and of course people were gonna go steal that. So they went to dig the father up from the ground and stole the BMW, and it was on news.
Traditional casket and a procession of weeping mourners. But why not up the stakes higher? Well, one person just did exactly that. A Nigerian man has created a huge buzz online in the West African country after he gave his deceased father a luxurious send-off in a brand new BMW. Yes, a sleek BMW worth over $9,032 million according to Nayad.ng. The man, only identified as Azubuike, is trending online after he buried his father in the Kambosi, Anambra State. The news outlet reported that Azubuike had recently lost his father and decided to hand him a dignified send-off befitting of his status. The BMW was reportedly bought only for that specific purpose. In 2015, a similar incident made headlines after an Anuga billionaire buried his mother in a brand new Hummer. That is not all. He splashed the Hummer with over $1,010,000 cold cash.
How bizarre is that? If you got stupid money to spend like that, why don't you spend on charity and people alive who really need it? Just buy your father a coffin. There's anything that I love about Muslims is the fact that when you are dead, it's not so stressful on you as a family, because it's so easy for them to, have a nice burial. You don't even have to have the money for the coffin. Makes sense. In Africa, so if you're Muslim and you die today, they probably will bury you within the next 2-3 days. And if you're a Christian in the West, they don't keep you in a fridge for a long time, right? But in Ghana, they put the dead body in the mortuary for a very long time, 6 months sometimes. It could be really long, because now they have to plan properly to bury the dead.
This one is a commission for a cattle farmer who's already dead. Where's the cattle farmer now while he's waiting for his coffin?
Yes, in a mortuary.
He's in a mortuary, okay.
And over 2 years now.
Over 2 years he's been in a mortuary, and then they're going to have the funeral once this is finished.
Sure.
And all this while, where the body is in the mortuary, in the fridge, they are paying a lot of money to keep that body fresh. As I've been mentioning on my channel, when you go to the banks for a loan to build a business, to do whatever, you will not get it. But even insurance companies are willing to give you loan for funerals, because they know people will come to a dance and celebrate and then, contribute so you can pay back. So getting a loan to, bury the dead, it's not really a problem in Africa, actually. I've encountered some bizarre situations where I couldn't wrap my mind around, as I have a land issue on my farmland in Eburi, and that particular land, they sold the land to me because they needed the money for a funeral. It's a very poor family. It was sad for me to just look at it. I didn't really talk about it, but it was really sad, like how crazy we got our priorities in order here. It's really reversed. So this family is really poor, live in a village, has nothing going on, and a family member died. So they decided to sell 15 acres that amounted to about, I think, $35,000 in total. And didn't finish paying the whole thing, but they got a big chunk of money. They got like $18,000 out of me, right? And they used the money to bury the dead, and they have nothing to show for, back in the same situation. This is stupid. This is asinine. While the person was alive, you were poor. You did not come to your senses to sell property and change your life, like open a business or store or something. But when a person died, you guys were eager and were able to get the money to bury that person and back to square one. What logic is in that? I don't understand that. Another example is My father's friend, Mr. Kweku, who I loved deeply, very hurt by him passing away, very hurt by that because he was like a father to me. In my first video on the channel, I mentioned that he's the reason why I bought my land where my house is on right now, because he did advise me, though I had no intentions of coming to Ghana, he did advise me to buy land because you just never know, right? He died. He was sick for a very long time. Mr. Kweku was sick for about 3 years severely. And while I was in Ghana, I spent some time with him for about a year before he died. The family members, he was stuck in a room. The family members, he lives in like a family compound. And nobody would tend to him. So I don't really talk about the charity work I do, but I would say here, because it was really messed up. I had to take care of him monthly, send him money. And my father also is a father friend, try to help. Our family will have to cook and take it to him, and he was living in a family house. So there's other people around. Nobody will mind this guy because they got issues with him or whatever it is, right? They will not mind him. And he died, unfortunately, about a year ago. Mr. Kweku, rest in peace. The moment he died, the family came together. They painted the house. They painted the inside. They changed everything around. They gathered the money. What sense does that make? The person was severely sick, and you guys will not pay attention to him at all. When he's dead, you guys gather all resources to bury the dead. I'm sorry. If this is culture, then it is a stupid culture. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Sometimes we just have to use logic. And throw the culture aside. We got to use logic. We have to use logic. We have to think logically as Africans. It's a problem. But everybody's scared to speak up. Everybody's scared to talk about such idiocracy because they are scared of criticism. But I'm not. That's why I'm making this video, because it's stupid. Okay, if you're a rich person, you want to have a, extravagant funeral, by all means. But having a funeral where you don't got it, you have to sell properties, you have to go for a loan to bury the dead, and you're going to be back to being poor after the dead is, come on, bury the dead, celebrate, but be wise about it. If you've got it, by all means, bury that person in the biggest coffin, right? And the coffins in Ghana, actually, so it depends on, how much money you've got. But the coffins is not your regular coffins, right? Some coffins, it's fish. They can even put somebody in a banana coffin. It's very stylish over here, And funeral is where they really show off that your family really care about you. But when a person was sick, like Mr. Kweku, they don't care about that person. But when a person dies, they find a way to do extraordinary stuff. And it's just fucking sad. This concludes the video. If you've not subscribed to the channel already, kindly do so. Like this video as it helps with the algorithm. Comment, let me know what you think. And until next time, my friends, be legendary. Peace.